Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast. So last week in the podcast, I did sort of a follow-up to something I had done the week before, which was a viewer participation segment. And in it, I asked, what is a combination of ingredients or food items that probably seem weird to most people, but you swear by it? And it was really interesting, some of the comments that I got. And there's definitely some themes in there. So if you go back to that previous podcast, and I'll link to it up here, and I'll also put it in the end card if you haven't watched it or, more importantly, read the comments. But one of the ones that I saw very early on, and I thought, wow, this seems a little weird even for me, but I'm going to withhold judgment. And that was peanut butter and mayonnaise, like a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich, I'm assuming. I don't know, maybe some people just mix it in a bowl and eat it, but I got the impression that it was a sandwich or served on some sort of delivery mechanism. And I thought, okay, I don't know if I could do that. I'm not sure that that sounds right to me. But interestingly, it is probably the most common reply that I got. I don't know if it's a geographical thing or what, but peanut butter and mayonnaise, sometimes with the inclusion of dill pickles, was the most common weird food combination, and very common in the comments. So that may be something I'm going to have to give a try. I think I'll probably go back to the comments, review them again, and try out some of these things. Who knows, maybe there's some magic in there that can turn into a recipe video on this channel. Now, interestingly, there were a lot of the combos that you offered up that I have done. And two of the biggest ingredients that appeared in the various combinations were either peanut butter or cottage cheese, or sometimes both. So in terms of peanut butter, like peanut butter and bacon, I've done that since childhood. I've always loved that combination. It goes together so well. Sometimes people will add some extra ingredients, basically make a BLT plus peanut butter. I don't know that I've done that, but I probably have at some point. Then there were all of the different combos with cottage cheese, and I think I've probably done all of those at one time or another, especially around 30 years ago when I was really bought into the whole you need to eat high carb, low fat, moderate protein. So I would combine cottage cheese with all manner of things and generally put them on a baked potato. Like I would get low fat cottage cheese, some tuna, and just put it on a baked potato. Or, let's see, I'm trying to think of all the things I've combined with cottage cheese. And some of the things you mentioned, ketchup, cottage cheese with ketchup, probably haven't done that since childhood. Cottage cheese with salsa, I've probably done that combo on a baked potato. Cottage cheese and mustard. Interestingly, I used to make cottage cheese and mustard sandwiches as a child. It's again one of those things, you've got the acidity and the tanginess of the mustard with the creaminess and the dairy of the cottage cheese. It works. There were also a few submissions that I've tried, but never sober. So one of them was bologna and peanut butter. Like I'm thinking probably like a roll-up, like you took a slice of bologna and you spread some peanut butter on it and rolled it up. I have in fact done that, but that was back in college and I was probably high at the time. That really seems like stoner food to me. And in fact, we took it up a notch. This was my roommate my sophomore year back in college. We took the bologna, we put peanut butter on it, and then we also had a jar of dry roasted peanuts. We kind of sprinkled that in and then rolled it up like a little taquito of sorts. But I've learned just from my own weird eating experience that sometimes these combos that can sound kind of crazy actually work. And like I said, I will go back and look at some of these, A, because they're entertaining, and B, who knows, there could be something in there that just might be one of my next recipes. So thank you once again to all of you who left comments. It was pretty wonderful, pretty fun. And I'll have to come up with another question like that, not today, but maybe in the next podcast, because I really do enjoy this sort of interaction. Now, speaking of comments, one thing, I'm very much into reading all of your comments, and though I may not reply to all of them, I try and at least give them a heart. Some days I get so many comments, or people will go in and they'll edit the comment and then the heart disappears. But when you're a regular commenter and then suddenly the comments stop, I quit seeing them, I get concerned. I'm less concerned about whether you just got sick of me. That's okay, I'm sure it happens. But if you're okay and healthy, that's what matters to me. So if you are one of those people who has historically left a lot of comments and then stopped for whatever reason, you just you thought maybe I don't read them. Well, I do, and I appreciate them, and it means a lot to me. And I get concerned, especially with some of you, when you just suddenly disappear. I hope everything's okay. And one of the ways to let me know things are okay, keep leaving comments. So sort of a follow-up to the whole leaving comments thing, one thing I want people to be aware of, if you are subscribed to the Serious Keto newsletter, and I haven't pimped that in a little while, link down in the description below. It comes out once a week, every Sunday. It's just the last 3 videos that I did, there's links to them, there's a link to a flashback video, and then some behind-the-scenes info. That's it, no spam, never sell your email to anybody, short, sweet, and you never miss a video. However, it is a technically unmonitored mailbox that sends those out. So when people reply to the newsletter, don't expect a response back from me. Now, I do go into the mailbox from time to time just to take a look to see if anything has happened there. So those of you who have replied to the newsletter and not gotten a response from me, that's the reason why. But I want you to know that I did read it, and there were a couple of you that left some very, very nice, very, very kind comments to me on the newsletter, and I appreciate that. But just be aware that you won't get a response from me if you reply to that. From time to time in these podcasts, I'll talk about some interesting side effects to keto that you don't really notice until all of a sudden you're just like, hey, this hasn't happened in a long time. For example, I talk an awful lot about how I seem to be immune to mosquito bites. 6 years, no mosquito bites. And with all the flooding that we had in southeast Wisconsin, it has been absolutely awful in terms of mosquitoes. I went out to my mailbox the other day, and just as I'm walking through the grass, they're just like clouds of mosquitoes coming up. Now, back pre-keto, that particular walk to the mailbox, I would have just gotten eaten alive. I mean, my calves, my lower legs, they would look like, I don't know, I was going to say a topographical map of mosquito bites, but that seems like a weird metaphor. Anyhow, I've talked enough about the mosquito bites, but one thing I noticed as the bit lip, which I talked about last week, has been healing, is I don't get canker sores anymore. I used to get canker sores a lot pre-keto, and nothing since going keto. I don't know what it is. There's probably some pH balance, something that's going on in my body, but yeah, no canker sores at all. And when I get a mouth sore, like I bite my lip or I bite my tongue, it doesn't develop into a sore. I mean, it'll swell up, but I mean, it's not painful or anything like that. It doesn't have that sting that a canker sore has. So I'd be curious to know, have any of you experienced that same benefit for keto? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, I just had one more topic on my list, but it was kind of philosophical, and I'm not feeling all that philosophical today. So we're going to save that one for maybe next week. In terms of this week and next week, well, obviously, this week has already been a little bit off because the podcast is falling on Tuesday rather than Monday. And as a result, this is just probably going to be a 2-video week. It's probably going to be this podcast on Tuesday, and then the product review, which will be the Scotty's pancake mix, keto pancake mix on Thursday. And then next week, also probably going to be a 2-video week because of Labor Day. So again, probably podcast on Tuesday, and then maybe Thursday is a cooking video, or Friday. I'm not sure. But just so you know, this week, next week, both going to be 2-week videos. That's the second time I've said that. 2-video weeks. But I think I'm going to wrap it up right now, just so I can get this one out. I'm already way behind schedule. So thank you for your patience with the sort of erratic schedule on the channel. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you taking the time to spend a little bit of time listening to me today and proactively leaving a comment. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.